Alright, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Kalayim Lo Yehovah Shem Yahushua. And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, GMS. Will do rule and teach well. Turn back on. Alright, Con. Let me turn this fan off real quick. I don't really need it right now. So as I was saying, right, today on the, King James again, never talked about this topic before, so I'm going to get into it, and I don't have anything planned. These are all the scriptures a brother has here. If I think of something, I'll go pull out my own scriptures that I know, or things that's not here, and add them onto here, but I read through a lot of these, and I'm very familiar with some of these here. Well, actually, all of them. I'm familiar. I know the breakdown, but I mean, familiar with the full chapter. So yeah, revenge, right? Contrary to the popular belief, revenge is not only in the scriptures, but also righteous. 2 Thessalonians 1:6. Enslavement of the heathens in the first 1,000 years, Israel's kingdom is justified as payback for all the wickedness that those nations did to the children of Israel throughout history. God, and that's true. You know, it's going to be 1,000 years, and it talks about that, and what I think Revelation 20th chapter goes into that, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Right, I'm at that 1,000-year time period, pertaining to Obadiah 1:18, Esau, all the Edomites are going to be destroyed, and their spirits are going to be scattered across and come back into the other nations. Right, so the Edomites, after they're physically destroyed, they'll just come back. You know, it's probably like an Edomite. Some will probably come back as Edomites, as the Ammonites, or as Moabites. All right, and if you have the spirit to understand it, you'll understand it, because we know that spirits are pure energy. Right, the scripture goes into like spirits of fire. You know, spirits are pure energy. So the spirits are the Edomite spirits are not going to go nowhere. They're just going to be spread across the different nations, and they'll just continue to serve us anyway. They'll be tributaries, right? So if you have the spirit to understand it, you'll understand it, right? And I learned that from watching the main camp teach yesterday. I was watching it live, and not the live, their camp, and they went into that. So yeah, so now we know that, right? Exodus 21:16. Genesis 9:6. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. By man's shall his blood be shed. From the image of the Most High made he man, right? It's because the Most High gave man order, right? Starting with the Adamites, okay? Starting with the Adamites, and then the Adamites, they pass on the order to everyone else, right? So men are not supposed to be killing men, because, you know, it's not supposed to happen. We're given order. We're not supposed to be out here murdering each other, okay? Right, and obviously when Noah said that to his sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, you know, obviously what came down later in history, they didn't pay attention to that. You know, they were committing wars. I mean, just read on about what Nimrod, man, him going out and taking nations, and, you know, doing wars and murdering. All right, he wasn't supposed to be doing all that, you know, taking other people's territory, you know. But the Lord, you know, the Lord had all those things play out for a reason, you know, for Nimrod and his guys to colonize regions, and they had their own little battles and stuff like that. I remember watching a documentary about it a long time ago. So yeah, I believe that's where Issachar got his start from as well. They say he was a colonist. I think the Syrians were actually originally under the Babylonians, but we know in time the Syrians like rose up and actually, you know, defeated them and defeated everyone else, and so on and so forth, right? And they had a time to rule until the Babylonians came up, took them down, and the Persians took them down, and the Greeks took them down, and the Romans came up Yep. And then after the Romans, they ruled for a little while. Jake took them over. Basically, independent Christian kingdoms rose up. They got their shit together. They took down the Moors around like 1300s. Renaissance begins. Edomites have been ruling ever since then. Now in our time now, Yahushai, wait for Yahushai to come on the scene. He's going to take down the Edomites, take down all these different nations. Israelites are going to rule for that time. Whether that time comes this year or next year, whatever year. Once Yahushua comes down, then that rule will last forever. Literally forever. That's just a rundown of history. Numbers 35, actually Exodus 21 and 16, and this one's obviously about revenge, right? If you kill a man by your blood, your blood's gonna be shed. If you kill someone, then you're gonna die. Exodus 21 and 16, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, if he be found in his hand, he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall be surely be put to death. Right? And that's a scripture talking about slavery and having a slave trade. All right? We weren't supposed to be doing that to each other. We weren't supposed to be capturing each other, kidnapping each other, and selling us into slavery, right? Remember, Judah, and the sons of Israel, they did that to Joseph. The other sons of Israel did that to Joseph, because obviously Joseph was another son of Israel, right? He was an Israelite, and they sold him, right? And they weren't supposed to be doing that. And we're not supposed to be selling each other into slavery, which is a big sin that goes down in this country. You got the whole human trafficking ring. Sometimes they'll have Jakes, be there, and they'll be doing human trafficking and like capturing other Jakes, or sometimes they'll maybe get an African to go do it. They'll get an African or someone. It could still be Jake, but it could possibly be Hamites that they get, to go do these things and go, kidnap Jakes and I'm talking about over here in America. But it's Hamites or Jakes, but they get people from Africa to go do this stuff too. I remember tweeting that she was talking about a case, and they actually caught the guy. They didn't. I think they caught it in action to stop it from going down. But the cops never did a full investigation of trying to find like the organization behind the whole thing. I can't remember. He said it on one of his lives. That's why Tariq is a good guy to watch. Good channel to watch, because he has different things and different accounts and stuff like that you're not going to hear about in the news. He's one of these alternative kind of, they call alternative news kind of guys. He's but he focuses on Jakes though, and sometimes the whole Pan-Africanism thing kind of bleeds in, which is not tight at all. That's horrible. We're not no damn Hamite. Right? There's a difference between us. Right? We're the Lord's special people. Right? There's different groups. Okay, so Numbers 35 and 33. For you should not pollute the land wherein ye are. Actually, hold on. Exodus 21 and 16. Right? Even though this is a law pertaining to us, right? We apply it to Esau as well. That he wasn't supposed to be doing that stuff either. We apply it to him as well. Or any of these nations, they weren't supposed to be capturing us and selling us into slavery, right? Right, but we know revenge is the whole theme of this kind of lesson, so we know we're going to do it to them. Alright, so Numbers 35 and 33. So you should not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defiles the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Alright, so you should not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defiles the land. We know that blood is a life force, life of beings, and it defiles the land when blood is shed upon a land, murders and things like that. The land cannot be cleansed of the blood that shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Okay, and taking that that whole idea and applying it here in America, this land is greatly polluted with blood, right? Because starting with the Spaniards, who came down to so-called Dominican Republic, and they took down the native groups down there, the Northern Kingdom. Simeon that was down there. They brought Levi over there to serve bondage, and of course other Edomites. They came down in different regions. The Dutch came down here to NY. They took down the Lenape tribes. I think there's a way you say it in Hebrew too, but I know Lenape just means the people. But you could go look that up for yourself. I remember I thought I found a word that looks kind of similar. It was something like Laap or something, but don't quote me on that. I thought I saw something that looked familiar. It looks similar to the word Lenape, which I'm not even sure Lenape is a real way you say it in the languages that the natives over here were saying, like in Brooklyn and stuff like that. So yeah. So right. So this land is greatly polluted with blood. Canada is heavily polluted with blood as well. All this land is. I have a book here. I'm not going to get it, but it's called Ebony and Ivy. Maybe I'll do a lesson on it when I finish reading the book. I haven't been reading it a lot lately, though. So yeah, this book Ebony and Ivy is basically about how black people, the slaves, the tribe of Judah, when they had us in captivity, they were first forced us to work on these colleges. And actually the Spanish were the first people to bring the colleges down here into the Americas, because the colleges were basically used as a tool to carve out European empire and to try to delineate different territories from different groups. So the Spaniards will have their territory and they'll have their colleges. You'll have like the English, they'll have like their stuff, and that's how they delineated their own territory from other Europeans' lands, which that's them trying to change history, man. Them trying to change and them trying to come differently, and try to basically like try to become some of the. They're basically trying to get away from the whole Edomite thing, like the scriptures call them the mountain, the covering cast of all nations. There's another one, the covering mountain or something like that. The anointed cherubim that covereth. That's Ezekiel the 28th chapter. That's Esau, man. He's trying to cover up his own history. He's trying to hide that. Like you have a cover up. When you have like a big event, they want to hide something about it, like look at these school shootings and stuff like that. They cover it up. There's other stuff that go down, like how do these kids get all these guns? We have some people who are clearly mentally ill, but then they somehow get guns anyway, and it comes out later on that the person sold them the gun did it illegally and didn't even do a full background check. There's one guy I heard about a situation like that, and they swoop that whole thing under the rug and make it seem, just a mistake. It's like, y'all had something to do with that shit, and you basically, supply this dude the weapons to go out and go on a killing spree. Psalm 137 and 8, right? O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. That's right. Esau is synonymous with Babylon. America's Babylon the Great. I didn't think about that. Happy shall he be that taketh. Well, actually, what am I saying? Of course I thought of that. Yeah, daughter of Babylon. I didn't read it clearly. Happily shall he be that taketh and dash thy little ones against a stone. This is all talking about Esau. Esau is the daughter of Babylon because they're, acting like Babylon. They're coming in that same stead, that golden city. So on and so forth. Read like what Isaiah the 37th chapter. little slip up, or whatever. Psalm 149 and 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. That's right, that's what we're going to come ahead and do. There's actually more to this. To bind their kings with nobles, to bind their kings with chains, and nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written, this on have all the saints, praise ye the Lord. Yep, that's right. So this really goes up into dig into hell. It's in Amos. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9. Spread the lintel of the door of the post machine, cut them into the head, all of them, also the last one with the sword, he that fleeth, let's bring them down. Yeah, so I'll read from the top. Amos 9 and 1. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel upon the door, the post may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, he that escapeth them shall not be delivered. I will dig into hell, i.e. the grave. Thence shall my hand take them, though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Okay, so though they dig into hell, meaning the pits and making their own little underground bunkers, thence shall my hand take them. And that goes to Psalm 149th chapter, from like 7 to the end, where it says how we're going to put them and bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, because after the missiles come down, everyone that's here in America, the United States of America, will die. Okay, they will all they'll be dead. You know, the spirits will go to the spirit world. They're dead. However, the elites, they're gonna survive. They're gonna go down to different bunkers that they already have planned out, which many alternative news guys, different whistleblowers have already been talking about how trucks have been diverted and supplies have been routed to go over there to these different places. Other whistleblowers have talked about how these guys got servants and stuff like that, which talks about that in what Revelation, the 9th chapter, how there's going to be captains and servants and butlers, all of them going to be down there, man. So yeah, that's what's going to happen, man. But even though they're going to hide there and think they're going to get away, the Lord will send us to go get them, snatch them up, put them in some chains, and then drag them, because they got to go build the 12 gates. They got to go clean up the Middle Eastern region, that whole kind of area, because of the dead bodies left after World War III. That's pertaining to Ezekiel 39. Alright, so yeah, as I was saying, right, so right, another part, they climb up to heaven, means space, then till I bring them down. So if they try to escape to the little space stations, the Lord's gonna, get us. We'll go up there and drag them on down, so we can put them in slavery. Amos 9 and 3. They hide themselves in the top of Carmel. I will search them. I will search and take them out thence. They be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea. Thence I command the serpent, he shall bite them. Right? Which is a figure of speech, because there's no way to escape the Lord's sight, because everything is controlled by the Lord. Then so I command my serpent, and he shall bite them. And the serpent is talking about Leviathan. I think it's Job, the 30th chapter. It talks about Leviathan. Is actually a funny scripture, even though it's deadly serious. If you try to fish Leviathan, if you try to catch Leviathan with the hook, forget the battle. Remember no more, because there will be no battle. Leviathan will just snatch your ass up and eat you up. If you me go. Yeah, so any of you brothers out there, I don't really know if any of you guys are into this stuff, but Monster Hunter, what do you think these Japanese guys come up with these monsters and stuff like that? I just remember this because I used to play the first game, the game where it came out, and what was it, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I used to have that on 3DS. Used to play that a long time ago. But yeah, so you got the whole thing here, right? So that's what's gonna happen. We don't really know how Leviathan looks like. I just wanted to bring it up as a kind of like a a little thing like, what do you think these guys get these ideas from, right? Jacob is a former, of all things, really just talking about the Lord. The Lord formed everything, and everyone just kind of, steals it off us. And you can also say that too, because Israelites wrote the scriptures, and these other nations, jack different concepts off the scriptures, and pervert it, and or Edomites did that too, right? Cherubim that covereth and all that, try and hide facts, nationalities. Also, scripture, he that adds unto the scriptures, shall be destroyed. That's really referring to 2/3, but you could also apply it to Edomites too, because they done the add onto the scriptures. Now they're gonna have the plagues added onto them. But I'm gonna speak about that. That's a whole different topic, because but I'll just make mention of it because why not? Shin Megami Tensei is what comes into mind. Them kind of like, doing all kinds of garbage. Yeah, so in this game, right, Shin Megami Tensei, I'm not gonna like go into like the full plot or whatever, but yeah, the final boss, Yehovah or YHVH, I wish that isn't the real name. Alright, so they're all the way fucking up because there's no V's in the Paleo Hebrew. I believe that one's like that came from like the Romans and stuff like that, Latin, like that Yiddish stuff. Has nothing to do with us, basically. That's more like Yiddish. And even though Hebrew is like a different pronunciation or different dialect, different version of the Hebrew, it isn't the right one. And I think that modern Hebrew actually does have pieces of Yiddish stuck in there, because they had to reconstruct the language, because the language was lost, so they had to redo it, reconstruct it. But they did it in a carnal sense. I think his name was Moses ben Abraham. I think he took they say he took like Arabic and he reconstructed it. It was something that I remember reading, something like that. But you fact check me. Don't take what I hear for facts. Oh, you heard that Brother Shabash was it, so I'm gonna go. No. Just Google it. But yeah, so they take our stuff and then they play around with it, right? It's very wicked. Okay, so yeah, that was that, and I went off on a little tangent, but I don't care, because it wasn't like I was just going off on a tangent just to say a tangent, just to speak. It has meaning, and if you understand, you know what I'm talking about. Right. So let's see. Isaiah 14:2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captive who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Right? People, Israelites, shall take them by the nations, right? Put them in hardcore slavery for 1,000 years, Revelation 20:5, because of all the evil they had done to the Israelites. In the end of this period, the heathen will be in tribute to the Israelites, but the Edomites will be completely destroyed, Obadiah 1:18, but the spirits will continue. Right? Let me see here. Spirit. Excuse me. The spirit is fire. Let me see if I can find. So yeah, this is Psalm 104:4. Who maketh angels spirits, his ministers of flaming fire. So his angels spirits, his ministers, flaming fire is really just talking about how, because angels are a type of spirit, if they're flaming fire, basically means that the spirits are energy. They're just pure energy. This energy, it could just only be, they say that at science, like energy can only be replaced, like you really can't destroy energy. But that's what they say. You have like kinetic energy, and then they have what's that thing they call potential energy. But they say like everything has potential energy. This is stuff that happened. This is chemistry stuff, man. I forgot my point. But yeah, so basically the spirits are flaming fire. Basically, they're energy. Spirits don't go anywhere. With our spirits of people, that's what you get. reincarnation from the spirits are just energy. They just come right back down. But basically, Esau, once he's destroyed, because spirits are energy, once we put them all in the pit and burn them all up, pertaining to Obadiah 1 and 18, the spirits will just recycle through the other nations. They'll recycle through the heathen, Japheth, Ammon, Moab, Elam, stuff like that. The one thing that's going to be different is that we're not going to have to see their fucking leprous ass no more. Per slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise to possess the land or face the world with cities. Now, this is going to be the last one that I'm going to get multiplied. Let's see, increaseth. Slovakia. I ate not too long ago. Proverbs 29:16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgressive increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. So, we know at the time of like the Maccabees and stuff like that, the Seleucid Empire, these Edomites were running things. Transgressive increased. They were torturing us. They brutalized us. You can read about that in the book of Maccabees. I'm also thinking of the Romans. They burned down the temple. They brutalized our people down there in Israel, sold us into slavery. They put us in the Colosseums, forced us to fight against animals and things like that. Forced to fight against beasts. They saw us get torn to pieces for their own amusement. You think about now, right? Job 9:24, earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Look at how much transgression is in this place here, how evil it is. This sickness, this place, how this place is disease ridden, and how a lot of these viruses and diseases come from them themselves. Think about how this place, just think all about all that stuff, man. How the elites are the ones with all the land, and they're the ones with the power. These Edomite elites, of course, sellout Jakes and different celebrities and stuff. But I'm talking about the ones that got some real land and stuff. They have all this land, but then they don't, divide it amongst people. They just have all the people stuck up in these fucking mega cities while they have fucking acres and acres and acres of land to themselves. All that stuff. The homeless, right? The rampant homeless issue. Elites have all this money and all this land. They can easily resettle them. They can help them out, but they're not going to, because of damn devils, man. And they're not going to help out their own people. That's why we're waiting for a kingdom. Then we don't have to see, our people poor, living on the streets. I don't like to see Jakes in that kind of position. Our people living in the fucking streets and shit. It's terrible to stare at. We know it's just the curses, but and that's that person's judgment for whatever they did in their past lives. But hey, man, in the kingdom, that person is gonna be all right, because all Israel shall be saved. So if he is a two-third, he'll just die on this side. He'll come back. He'll be right, and that's what I want to see, man. But yeah, Lord willing, you're edified, and shalom.